What's up, guys? It's Lou from Unbox Therapy. This is a very quick comparison because you asked for it. It's the Xbox 360 Chatpad up against the PS3 Keypad. Now, this is kind of a funny comparison because, they're not really competing products, but it is interesting to see how each manufacturer has tackled the concept of text entry on their consoles. I do have to say that I like typing on the 360 Chatpad because the buttons are a little bit larger and I like the location of the keyboard being below rather than above, but there is a major trade-off. This solution here is quite hefty, quite chubby. It's a lot heavier than the PlayStation solution, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Xbox 360 controller being a little bit heavier to begin with. Now, you have chat pass-through on the bottom of this one because obviously the Xbox 360 system uses on-controller chat functionality, and as I mentioned before, the unit is using the onboard batteries. I just have a couple of Duracell AA's in there. I got to get some rechargeables, but we'll wait and see exactly which one has better battery life. But as I said before, this is going to rely on your controller's battery, unlike the Sony solution, which isn't. Now, the Sony solution is very light in comparison to the other one, but it puts the keyboard up in this funky location up above, and the keys are substantially smaller. So there's your trade-off. You can go for thin and light, but smaller keys, or big and chunky and bigger ones. That's usually the way it goes, isn't it? I don't mind typing on it. I mean, it's effective. It's obviously way better than the on-screen keyboard. Some people have mentioned that getting to your shoulder buttons is affected, but I don't really feel that. It's okay for me. And again, the main focus here is that this device is actually usable off of the controller because it has its own battery. So if you pull it off of here and take a look at it, it can completely function this way. You could actually keep it beside the controller if you really wanted to. And it just sort of mechanically clips on there, but there is no actual interaction between the controller and this device. It charges on its own, as I just pointed out. It's got that mini USB port along the top. Now, that might be a headache for you because now it's two devices to charge instead of one, but again, that's preference. That may actually be better for you. Now, the keyboard itself is typable, but as I mentioned, if you have larger size hands, you probably would prefer something a little bigger, if it was even possible on a controller like this. And once it clips on here, a number of buttons are remapped mechanically below too, like the power button, start, select, and whatnot. Now, this is a special function that the Sony has that the Xbox version doesn't, is the whole unit is a trackpad itself. Now, the results of using this are hit and miss. I mean, it's not very smooth. It's not like a laptop trackpad. As you'd imagine, you're going over top of the keys. The keys themselves become the trackpad, so it's kind of an afterthought, I think. It works in the web browser, but it isn't the prettiest thing. So anyway, guys, each one of these devices has its benefits and drawbacks, and it's kind of a funny comparison because it's not like you really have a choice. Whichever console you have to deal with the associated accessory. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, it is interesting to see how each manufacturer tackled the concept of text entry on their console. I'm going to give you guys a closer look at each of the keyboards. As you can see, there are a number of special function keys on each. These keys on the Xbox version are a little bit larger than what you get on the PlayStation version. Of course, these ones are round, so they're a little bit smaller. And you've also got a number of special characters on this one. I think a few more. So if you want to mess with people and put some crazy characters in your username, you could definitely go for it. Anyway, guys, if you like this content, then hopefully you can like and favorite this video. As I've said before, it helps me out a bunch. And as always, stick around the channel for new content all the time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. You guys make this possible. I'll see you around. Later.